Well, well, well. 2024 is definitely shaping up a very interesting year, I have to say. We have a very strong beginning, from the Genshin Impact to now, at the end of the actual, the fight between the biggest creators on Genshin Impact, right? Now we just moved on to from that to the Niji Sanji situation of firing Selen Tatsuki, also known as one of my favorite Oshis. She's definitely one of my favorite Oshis, and I've seen, like I said, if you haven't seen, part two and part one or so, I've seen a few of her streams. I've seen a couple of her clips, and I thought she was really funny. She's a great, talented FPS player, and I look up to her, and maybe one day I'll get to be as good as her one day. Um, Now, since this is talking, Tsunoko Nyaru, of course, as in like mommy VTuber, right? Expressing my concerns and my worries about the whole entire thing. It is very jarring to hear that a liver or livers, right, pushed her to the edge of actually almost, committing the S word, basically, and she was ended up in the hospital, right? She was hospitalized, of course, and then on top of that, right, then she was a surprise news that she got terminated. She didn't get no notice. She didn't get anything about it. Just happened out of middle of nowhere, and she heard the news. She was just as surprised as everyone else, right? And of course, there was a how to say, a twit recording or so on Twitter from her Twitter account saying that she won't be silent, right? And listening to it on stream or so was definitely pretty hard to stomach down a little bit. My chat was definitely very sad about the situation itself, hearing it live on stream. It was a pretty big pill, pretty hard pill to swallow from listening to that specifically. And the one thing that like kind of like that always kind of annoys me just a little bit, right? Just a little bit, right? Is that because what Sayu said, because she also, also known as Zion, of course, she made a video or so saying that like, oh, I've, some of these Ninja Sanji livers say that like, they're worthless, they're not worth anything, and it made her sad and really upset that like these people are having this weird mentality or so of saying they're not worth anything, which is very weird, right? I feel like this company has like kind of like, I guess you can say, kind of like brainwashed them, right, with all the fame and glory, publicity, the ads, and the connections and all of this other stuff, to say that like, hey, these I'm not gonna be worth anything, and I'm finally made it to the big leagues, which is, the company itself, right? I'll say this for a fact, right? As someone who is a small VTuber, right? I have a small vocal, in the community that I am, right? I would never think that way specifically, I am worth something because I'm, working my butt off to work to where I want to be, right? I want to climb the top of the ladders of all the VTubers and become the best of the best, right? As the best mommy VTuber out there, right? And to hear them specifically say that, I just want to like slap them upside the head for thinking that way, because it makes me upset, makes me a little bit angry and upset, right? Hearing that specifically, and they're worth more than you can ever think. Just because a company helped you out to open the floodgates for certain things doesn't mean you didn't work your way to there. Okay, you've done something to get accepted out of the thousands of people who applied to Nijisanji. of course, yours truly also applied. But I probably won't be applying anymore, of course. Just kind of like, wow, it's very surprising to see that where Niji Sanji was praised of being more laid back, right? A laid back company, to now being the black sheep company of the VTuber world now. So they definitely have ruined their reputation, even though they said that financially it was negligible, right? And then, of course, Height PC discontinued their contract or their collaboration with Niji Sanji. So they got rid of three skin computers, right? Three stuff for the computers itself, which is oof. They dropped the ball on top of that. A lot of artists, animators, and whatever other people work, making fan art or anything related to Niji Sanji, they're saying, we will not be making anything like that. And also, on top of that, as well, Niji Sanji wanted to own Sayu, also known as the VTuber or so that did the voice, who is a voice actor, so who did the voice for Jing Yuan and did the voice for, what is his name? I do not remember his name or so. So if I don't remember his name, here's a picture here. And, Sino, there you go. Never mind. Sino. Yes, here you go. Which is very interesting that he said, like, they wanted to own him, everything, like, everything itself, and they wanted him to stop doing, voice acting things.
For your voiceover, do you have an agent? And I was like, yeah, I have an agent. Hey, Meowmeda, thank you for the Prime.
14-month punk.
And I was like, yeah, I have an agent. And they were like, okay, would you quit your agency? And I was like, I don't feel the need to because I feel like agency and management are different. I'm like, okay, cool. So you prioritize your voiceover. And I was like, huh? What in the genjutsu? What do you mean? Huh? And that didn't work out. With Niji, they told me I could not do voiceover at all. And I was like, no. And they were like, is that non-negotiable? I was like, hey, I would love to work with you guys, but yeah, that's non-negotiable.
So if they said if you would give up voice acting to join Niji Sanji, and he said no. And then they said, is it negotiable? And they're like, no. Which is, of course, as someone who wants to pursue voice acting as in it itself, I am definitely not in the terms of, of accepting something like that personally, I would 100% deny that, of them trying to, like, control everything I own, basically. Like my voice and, and all this other stuff, what I can do with it, because that's a completely separate thing, that's an actual career that you worked up to build for, that's what I'll be doing, in the future, of course, and probably not anytime soon, of course, and on top of that, right, it is kind of jarring to hear the issues that, because it was trending on Twitter, right, Sink the Yacht, Niji Sanji, Where's Selene, Doki Bird, Millie, Rosemi, and stuff like that. And it's funny that the things that, Millie said, right, saying that, like, oh, what is the definition of a black company, right?
Characteristics of a black company. Okay, number 2, high turnover rate.
That clip was floating around for a bit or so on Twitter. It really did not, how do I say, it did not really age very well, I should say. It's definitely aged very poorly after the situation that we're in now, right? If you guys haven't seen the other 2 videos or haven't seen these, the people who've done the video itself, you should probably check them out on the situation because they cover a lot more. And I've seen that Kyo uploaded another video, right, about the whole Nijisanji thing, something about leaked messages, which I'll be definitely be reacting or so on Twitch live to see what's going on there specifically. So I guess there will be a part 4, I guess, to the video to this. I thought it was just going to be a 3-parter and I'll be done, but no, that'll be part 4 for that. Granted, of course, I don't do these kind of commentary style videos because I can't really, I'm just only one person. I'm not really great at editing anyways. So, I got other things that I need to do that kind of like, I just kind of want to do something really simple, something really easy with some of the React contents with my opinions and all that stuff, and then upload it onto, this second channel, which is here, of course. My first channel is a Vods channel, of course, where I have all of my Twitch VODs there. A lot of them don't have thumbnails just because specifically that like I stream for a very long time. I kind of, forget to stop streaming because I do enjoy talking to chat. I do enjoy streaming. I do enjoy, having good laughs with any new person or anything like that, you know. But, anyways, that's what I want to talk about, right? On the whole issue itself, that like some of these Niji Sanji people thinking that they're not worth anything, right? Like they're worthless, especially because Celine said that, like, all of my hard work saying that like, oh, it's all been wasted and stuff like that. I'm like, hun, you want to know something? They're here for you. They're not here for the company, okay? They will follow you. They will try to find you of where, if you have a second account, because, a lot of these specific, VTubers were a different VTuber before, before they even entered into Nijisanji. That's just how it is, right? Because these companies provide them the model, the name, the social status, the platform, and the advertisements and everything, right? Compared to like, when you're by yourself, like, yours truly, of course. It can become a little bit difficult or so when it comes to in this space itself, but it's nothing too crazy. You just gotta work yourself up. You gotta work from the bottom and then work your way up. That's how I am. I enjoy VTubing. I'm here for the long haul. I'm gonna work my ass off all the way to the top, and that's just how it is, right? But these people saying that like they're worth nothing, they're like, I guess you could say losers, right? It's incorrect, okay? Sayu said that too, and then Selen is saying that like, oh, all my hard work has gone to waste. I'm like, no, it has not. No, it has not. Because you want to know something? Selen, you have worked so hard to where you are in this, you've done this for like what? How long has this been? Like 3 years or something that she's been in there? I'm not too sure. I'm not, don't remember when she started joining or so or anything like that, but she's been in the sphere for quite a hot minute, and to be frankly honest, you should not be thinking like that whatsoever. So, in my personal opinion, some of these people need to, like I said previously, they need to wake up. I feel like they're kind of a bit brainwashed to be thinking in this perspective point of view. But on top of that, right, she was pushed to, to the edge, right, by a liver or certain group of people or so. We don't know who it is specifically. Maybe it'll be explained in the new video with Kyo, who just said, oh, there's some leaked DMs that just got leaked or so. And we could find out maybe who it is, maybe not. We don't know for a fact. And at the end of the day, Selen's basically small little pebble made a completely tsunami ripple away to everybody, because now they're unsubscribing to everybody, because it makes sense. Why would you want to support someone who is being a bully inside the company and the company is not firing them, right? And another thing that kind of drove me like a little bit of a question, right? And it said in the document or so in the Niji Sanji saying that like, oh, Selen Tatsuki was always a problem or so ever since she joined Niji Sanji. She has, destroyed our, reputation and stuff like that. I'm gonna have to say cap on that. That's what my chat usually likes to say a lot, but I'd have to say BS, like 100%. I don't think that's true. They are lying out of their asses. It's just a bunch of PR stuff so they can look good and make Solen look bad. At the end of the day, this is what this company is doing. They basically say bad things and whatnot to when these people, get terminated. It's just for them. Just for them to look good in the limelight, right? And to recruit even more people in the, in their company, right? Because they want you. They want to own you and work you to death apparently and push you to the limits of committing a respawn Minecraft somewhere else, So it's crazy in my personal opinion to be hearing about this, and it doesn't sound like it might be the end after this, unless like more stuff gets leaked out or so, of course. I am recording this after I finish, watching the Aspen Gold video, of course, of him reacting to the whole situation, of Rev, of course, doing the video. And of course I'm recording this at like 9:34 in the morning. I've been awake all night long editing, so I'm only one person, so I can't really like do all of my editing that I need to do. And I gotta do the thumbnails, I gotta do some commissions I need to do, gotta do some other art stuff that I need to do. I haven't even gone back to doing the drip market project or something I need to do. And also like it's just been kind of tiring at the same time. So I'm only one person, I don't have all the infinite wealth or so in the world, to do that stuff. But anyways, oh, besides infinite wealth, right? Selene basically spent 200K or so last year of money or so out of her own pocket, right? To fund a lot of her VTuber stuff, And and she says that she barely or at all got paid, which is kind of a little bit mind-boggling to hear that a company itself is not paying their livers barely anything, right? Barely anything. And to hear that she had to pay out of her own pocket for a lot of the things, and it's kind of like, well, where's the money at, huh? What are these people doing with the money? Shouldn't you be paying your livers? I'm just saying, right? It's a company, right? They should be paying for certain things in it on itself. And it sounds like they're not really doing anything. It sounds like they're just keeping the money and, like what some of the people say on Twitter, right? Buying a buying a yacht. It's kind of funny how, like I've said before, malice is definitely, one true nature of people, right? And this just proves again that specific statement that malice is definitely the truest form of humanity. And to see that the company itself just doesn't care about their livers. They're not even defending them, right? They're not even modding their stuff, for some of the streams and the channels, the subreddit, right? The subreddit right now is on fire on top of that because there's no community manager taking care of most of these areas, right? So it's kind of like, what is happening here? What is going on with this company? I feel like this company just has their heads so far up their asses that they don't see the limelight at all. They need to learn to humble themselves and literally take care of their goddamn livers because they're treating them like work slaves, like pigs, like a bunch of cows just milking them, Kind of a pretty bad specific scene in it on itself to be thinking that way. Because at the same time, it's weird that Millie says, oh, I'm having a pretty good, decent time. Okay. So my question is like, is everyone having a different experience in Nijisanji? Or is she lying? Which is one of the two, which we'll never know, right? Unless like I said before, unless all of the livers, right, every single one that is still in Nijisanji would come out and say, hey, everything that's been happening is true. We've all been worked to death and this and that and all of this, and we are getting paid, this much basically. So, yeah, so either they all say something or they all don't say anything at all. At the end of the day, it is what it is. I can't really say anything about it. This is just my own personal opinion of what I think. They're a black company, probably the most hated one. Kind of funny that I like, I applied for them. Granted, I never took it serious, right, on the application. Granted, I put a your mom joke on the first time I applied. So, uh, it was kind of a given that I wasn't going to get accepted because I put a your mom joke. Come on. Who's going to accept someone who puts a your mom joke on the application? Come on. Let's be a little bit serious here, right? So I never really took serious the applications or so until like I think like the third time or so I tried a little bit, right? But I think at this point, um, I will probably not apply to them. I'd rather go apply to Hololive. Well, there's no way I would apply to VShoja because VShoja is so. How do I say this? I guess they go for more recognition on the platform, so a more bigger audience that you have or such for you to be accepted into Vishojo. Not really sure how Vishojo really works on top of that, but I know they have a little bit more freedom compared to Hololive and compared to Nijisanji. But to be hearing that that um, Hololive becomes more better than Nijisanji is kind of crazy in my personal opinion. It was the opposite of hearing like, oh, Nijisanji is more laid back than Hololive. Because of the whole issues with the hand or something with some weird streamer, so that Hololive decided to, said you can't do that anymore. And it's kind of jarring and kind of crazy to hear all of that specific things. And well, Lord and behold, I have to say they're a terrible company. They are a black company. I'm sorry, Millie, but your statement of saying, Niji Sanji not being a black company is aged like milk, to be honest. It did not age very well. And you look bad, and they're using that specific comment, that specific clip, to weaponize against her, you know? And at the end of the day, it's kind of crazy. And there's been other clips or so that, it's been going up, from going crazy. I think Alouette was another one too that was also trending herself by a certain clip. Rosamund was also trending by another clip too as well. It is crazy. It is wild to be honest, but I am pretty happy that Selene is now in a better limelight now. She has a manager that's going to be taking care of a lot of her stuff behind the scenes, of course. So she can finally relax and not having to pay out of pocket because of this manager is going to help her out and is going to do fantastic for her. I wish her the all of the praise in the entire world. I'm hoping she does fantastic. Hopefully she does great. Much love to her, to my favorite Oshi out there, Doki Bird or Selene, whichever it is. I will still love you no matter what. I think you are the best person out there, and I hope that you go fantastically great on your journey itself. I am rooting. I am rooting for her. And everyone should be rooting for her too. Sorry about that. Smack my mic a little bit, but yeah, fantastic, beautiful, beautiful thing to see. At the end of the day, something turns up very well. Well, I will be watching this Kyo video probably on Sunday on stream or so. If you want to catch me by or so, you can come watch me or so. I do stream Sundays through Wednesdays. I've called off, Friday, what is it, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday off because I need the extra day to edit a bunch of videos that we react to, because I do watch a lot of reactions or so. I do react to a lot of things or so that happens or so I have to grab a couple, record those and then edit them, do the thumbnails for them, and then upload them on a schedule or so for them specifically. The only one, the commentary video that I did on the whole issue from the Genshin one took a lot of my time, so I didn't get the chance to upload a lot of videos specifically. So usually I get like at least 4 videos to be able to be upload, every single day at like 4 p.m. or so. But hopefully, hey, sometimes you'll catch me doing a commentary video, sometimes you won't, but yeah, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Very terrible is what's happening right now to poor Selene, and I wish her all the best of luck. And I'm still gonna keep watching her no matter what. I don't care if she's now if she's someone else. I'd rather go support her, and at least now at this point, I can finally send her money, subscribe to her. Like actually be a member to her directly to her, because I've never really paid I never really paid for their membership or anything like that because I didn't trust Niji Sanji as a company itself. I always had a suspicious feeling that there was something off ever since like the controversies that's been happening as of recently, which is, this and last year in and on itself, and the reputation that Niji Sanji's been having completely overall. And I always wanted to pay directly into the hands of the livers that I like, which is, Selen, Sayu, and Fox Sakuma, I want to pay them directly, from my hand to, from my wallet to their hand. And I didn't really trust Niji Sanji in and on itself. But now, since she's finally away from that company itself, I will be gladly, donating. I'll be gladly, subscribing, to their members thing on YouTube or so. So I'm really happy. I'm really proud. I and there's not really much I have to say. I'm just hoping that I just wish her the best of luck. And yeah, this is just my own opinion. Niji-san is pretty terrible, pretty shit, very terrible company. Don't bother applying. If you are thinking of applying just because you don't have a big platform, I think you need to get out of that mindset. To be honest, in my personal opinion, you have to work hard to work with what you got. You gotta work with what you got. Work hard, reach up to that goal that you want to do. Try your best to stand out and everything, and that's it. For me specifically, I am trying to work my butt off. Almost every single day. Try to entertain as best I can. I may not be the best entertainer at the end of the day, but I will definitely try my best. Like I said, can't really upload, high quality content every single day, because I'm not really a pretty good editor. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a pretty terrible editor. So, and I'm trying my best to do these thumbnails too as well, which I'm not really a great thumbnail person as well. And that's pretty much frankly about it. And, you know, it's just, it is what it is, right? I would like to do more different types of content, but I just don't have the time and the resources as well, and the amount of income to hire somebody to do it for me, I just don't have to. And I'd rather pay someone who is doing an edit for me than not pay them at all. That's just how it is personally. That's why I'll never ask for someone to edit a video. It's kind of hard for me to ask somebody, because I'm like, it makes me feel guilty that I don't have the money to pay them because they didn't edit for me. It makes me feel ashamed, makes me feel shameful, but hey, that's just a whole different other tangent anyways. Sorry about that, went off tangent for a little bit, but anyways, like I said, at the end of the day, terrible company, don't bother applying. Probably the worst of the worst. They'll just probably dispose of you when you act out of line, I guess, when you break a rule or something. Even though Selene, I don't think Selene breaks any rules. I think she was a pretty smart, hardworking individual, and they just abused her, overworked her to death for that. And I have to say, don't even bother. Just if they pull out an audition thing, don't even bother, because you want to know something. They responded by doing an advertisement of selling, whatever other shit they're selling right now at the moment. Probably not a good look on them. And at the end of the day, I won't be applying, even though I did before in the past. But I definitely will not be applying anymore. I'll be honest with you. So I have to say, you guys are a lot more better for all those new baby VTubers that are coming out into the limelight and working hard. Don't think that you're worthless. Okay, never think that way. All right. This is me, Sonakonyaru, Mama VTuber, best Mama VTuber out there that's concerned for all her kiddos, and signing off, alright? You guys take care, be safe, and ciao, everybody. Goodbye.